Spain go through, Belgium disappoints, and Cape Verde makes history. This is Jers Football 9, and let's talk football. What up, what up, what up, guys? It's your boy Jers coming back at you with another one. Let's go ahead and just hop into this video. We have a couple things to talk about, so let's hop in. Of course, the first fact that I wanted to talk about, guys, was going back into a conversation that we had yesterday about the winger from Ivory Coast, Diamande. This player has been something quite special so far in the tournaments, and Liverpool have been wanting to get him, as you guys are aware. They had sent him they had sent Leipzig a $115 million offer, which, although Leipzig are looking to sell him, they will not be selling him for anything less than 130 million. And it is said that Liverpool are not the only team that is currently interested in him. So I definitely think that that's a player that we need to keep an eye out on, because I think that he's going to continue to have an explosive tournament, which is just going to have a lot more teams knocking on the door. So who knows, we might see him in that red this upcoming season, or we might see him in any other bigger team. You know, there's obviously going to be the Chelseas, the PSGs, the Man U's. So definitely keep an eye out on this player, Diamande. He is a beast in that wing, guys. Following up, as we all know what happened yesterday in the Germany game, Nico Schlotterbeck did get injured. He got injured early in the game. Rudiger had to come in and substitute him. So it is said that he has a really bad ankle injury, guys. So he is basically out of the World Cup, if we're being honest. He is out completely. It is said that the injury that he has could take several months for him to be 100% again. If you guys were not aware, he was one of the candidates for Real Madrid to come and take this summer. As they're looking to increase strength in that back line. But after the injury, it is said that Real Madrid basically just backed out completely and said that they are no longer interested, because they do not, they don't want a broken player, which is fair. My best wishes to Nico Schlotterbeck. It's horrible to go down with an injury, especially whenever you had a potential big move on your way. But moving on, guys, now let's just talk about the World Cup, because we did have a very exciting day. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Spain versus Saudi Arabia. We're gonna, Lamine Yamal, guys, he had his official debut in the World Cup. And what better way to have a debut in the World Cup than to debut with your first World Cup goal? It was very early in the game, and he went in, scored. I think he's the second youngest player to score in their debut for a World Cup. Of course, he is right below the legend himself, Pelé. Okay, so then after that, shortly after, in the 21st minute, they scored the second goal. And then right after that, what is the player's name, guys? I think something Cabal. I can't remember. But he scored 2 goals. And then shortly around the 49th minute, as Cucurella took a shot, it kind of had a small deflection off the player, and it went in. So Spain win decisively with a 4-0 victory. They are right now top of their group, and they are moving on to the next stage. That's big for them. I think that's what everybody really expected, especially after the 0-0 loss. 0-0 tie with Cape Verde. They were able to come back stronger. Yeah, I think if anybody was able to see there was a meme or a video that went out that Saudi Arabian fans took outside of the stadium. They were, chanting, "Where's Yamal? Where's Yamal?" And Lamine, the troll that he is in Instagram, on the social medias, he took that video, replied, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm here and I scored." So shouts out to that. Lamine Yamal is a very special player. One of the world's best right now. Everybody knows that. So yeah, Spain, great game. Moving on. But let's move on as well, guys, because we need to talk about this Belgium versus Iran match. Belgium has really become one of the biggest disappointments in this tournament. Those are 2 games in a row where they have not been able to win. A couple years back, they were considered the best ranked team in the world, if anybody forgot about that. But they can't do anything in this tournament so far. All right, and Iran is a sleeper team, guys. They had so much attack in this game. They did not back down at all. They bring a lot of energy, a lot of fight to these games, and you know, especially with Belgium, I think that the big conversation, of course, is Doku leaving to go witness the birth of his son or daughter. I'm not sure. I don't know the exact gender, but the birth of his baby. And now, you know, the criticism, of course, is going to fall on him. Personally, guys, I don't see an issue with it. He didn't want to miss. Of course, we can sit here and compare him to the player from South Korea that missed the birth of the goalie, of course. But I'm not gonna be here comparing, because truly I know that I would never miss the birth of my child if that was the case, regardless of whatever the situation might be. Belgium still, though, you know, he's just one player. There's 11 others in that field. Very disappointed in what they have done so far, but Iran, I think, also deserved a lot more. They had a beautiful play today that led to a goal off of a free kick. Very, planned play. Unfortunately, the attacker for Iran just had a quick little misstep early. He got a little bit early off his line and it was called offsides. But I think that Iran is a very strong team. I think they're a team to fear, the way that they have been playing. Okay. Moving on, guys. Uruguay versus Cape Verde was such a great match. Oh man, I think that the first goal really got everybody hyped, and it really has people believing in Cape Verde and what they can do. I mean, Kevin Pina took this free kick, and this was a far out free kick, and he punted that bad boy. That thing went far. I want to say that there was a small deflection. Nonetheless, though, it got straight through the wall, and it got past Courtois' hands, and Cape Verde. I'm not Courtois. Muslera's hands, and Cape Verde started off with such an amazing goal, and out there I'll say it was also a very emotional goal. As we spoke yesterday, Vasinia's mom was able to go to the game, and she was there present celebrating that first goal, and that to me was very special. But if anybody knows the type of game that Uruguay plays, is I would say it's kind of like a bulldog, like they keep fighting and fighting and fighting until they can't anymore, and they tied the game at the 44th minute. Okay, I think it only took them like 5 minutes to score the next one and beat up the game. The 2 goals were by Maximiliano Araujo and Agustin Canabrio. Okay, at that moment, I felt like Uruguay had it in the bag. They're a big team. They're used to these moments, but my heart was still in it for Cape Verde. And whenever they came out in that second half, Varela scored on the 58th minute. No, I'm sorry. He came in the 58th minute, and then at the 61st minute, he scored the tie. And man, this just it gives me so much hope. And I think that that's one of the beautiful things about this tournament, and what it does is that it brings eyes to players that would have never received this type of love, and it gives the opportunity to be great, man. And Cape Verde has done so many things in this tournament that are just incredible, and it's worth talking about, guys. So yes, a tie between Uruguay and Cape Verde, 2-2. I'm excited to see how this group is going to end, because I'll touch a little bit about how the groups are looking right now at the end. But man, it's gonna be a tough, tight couple of games left. Okay, and we're gonna end the night with Egypt versus New Zealand. This was an incredible game because it truly, truly shows how a couple of minutes can change the whole outcome of a tournament. Guys, in the first half, New Zealand scored their goal. And before that break, with that score, let's say it would have ended 1-0, New Zealand would have been at the top of their group stage. Okay. The second half started. Egypt went full out. They tied it at minute 58. Mustafa Ziko. Then at minute 67, Mohamed Salah had one of his signature, attack from the right, cut left, and score goals. And then at the 82nd minute, Trezeguet scored the third. The score now is 3-1. New Zealand are now in last place in their group because this group is legit one of the tightest groups there's ever been. And now a potential first place has ended them, New Zealand, in last place. That is crazy, guys. I just can't believe it. It's a crazy thing to even consider, to think about. But, looking at the overall picture, let's look at the groups, guys. So Group E, Germany, of course, they beat Ivory Coast. They have solidified themselves in first place with 6 points. Okay. Followed up by Ivory Coast. They beat Ecuador in the first match. And they were so close to beating Germany, if I'm being honest. They had such a great play, but they are, in second place. And this is where it's going to get really tight because Ecuador and Curaçao are tied 1-1. And they do have individually tough matches, right? I think I talked a little bit about this yesterday. They have some tough matches because Curaçao is going to go against Ivory Coast, very tough team. Ecuador is going to go against Germany, okay? Group F, okay? Netherlands, they are actually in first place. Even though they have the same amount of points with Japan, they are first because they have 1 goal differential. They did score 1 more goal than Japan with 7 goals. Japan is in second because they scored only 6 goals, which honestly is a really tight game between both of them. As you guys know, the first game they tied 2-2. And third place, which was the team that really shocked me, which was Sweden. They did win their first game, so they do have 3 points. And as of now, official, Tunisia has been eliminated with 0 points. It doesn't matter if they play the next game and win by like 10 goals and Sweden loses. They are already eliminated. Why? Because of the new head-to-head rule that FIFA has instated, where the fact that Tunisia did lose against Sweden means that they are officially out because they lost against their direct competition in that position. All right. That to me is still a little weird. I don't like it. I think that traditionally the fact that we all have always done the point system and the goal differential, that's to me what it should be, but it is what it is. It's a new tournament, basically a new style of playing right now. But yeah, so Tunisia, unfortunate, eliminated. Two coaches in one tournament. Those are some crazy numbers, right? Following up, guys, we have Group G. Okay, so Egypt, as of today, this is the one we were just talking about, guys. Egypt is first place after their win. They have 4 points, followed by Iran. Crazy, because although they have the same points as Belgium, they do have 1 more goal scored on. I mean, 1 more goal that they scored, giving them that sorry guys, I'm blanking right now. Just giving them that lead against Belgium. Belgium has only played 2 games and they have tied both of them. They've scored 2 goals in both of those games. Okay, and last place, which is the crazy ironic thing, New Zealand in last place with only 1 point. They were so close to being first. It could have been flipped over, guys. That's my point, is that's how crazy and fast things could have gone. Okay, the next games for all of these teams is going to be do or die. I think every single team is really fighting for their position in this tournament. So definitely the group to really to really be keeping an eye on. El Grupo de la Muerte, I say for sure. And lastly, guys, we have Group H, which is already kind of defined what teams are gonna be going through. I think right now the tough part is gonna be really deciding who's gonna be second and who's gonna be in third place. Spain, of course, is in first place with 4 points. Uruguay is second above Cabo Verde only because of a goal differential. They did score one more goal. They have 2 points, and Cabo Verde has 2 points as well. Okay. Saudi Arabia, unfortunately, is in last place with only 1 point. And this is where it's going to get a little tricky because of the fact that the next game, Saudi Arabia is going to be going against Cabo Verde, and Uruguay is going to be going against Spain. So there's a lot of different outcomes that could happen with these upcoming games for them, okay? Let's say, for example, Cabo Verde wins against Saudi Arabia, Uruguay loses. That means that Cabo Verde are going to be in that second place, Uruguay is going to be third. Or vice versa, let's say Saudi Arabia wins. You know, there's so many possibilities that could happen here, guys. But ultimately, I think that we're in it for a lot of great football, and that's really all that's important to me, right? Before we call off the day, of course, I have to talk about what are the games scheduled for tomorrow, and what better way to do it than by using my Panini book. Y'all already know what it is. We've been doing this for every single day so far. Let's see. Okay, so tomorrow we have Jordan versus Algeria, Argentina versus Austria, France versus Iraq, and then Norway versus Senegal. Man, it's going to be a couple of good games. I think, of course, everybody's really interested in seeing what Argentina are going to go do against Austria, and Austria that were able to fight off their last opponent. France, of course, is another team that we want to keep an eye on. But yeah, this is another day full of soccer, another day of the best sport in the world, and another day full of excitement. Thank you guys for, joining me today. Of course, if you did, please give a comment, please give a like, or please, subscribe. I wouldn't also mind if you shared. But thank you guys very much for just, being with me here today, just sharing the conversation. It's your boy Jerson, of course. And yeah, peace.